Yo, this is Rick Mahorn, the bad boy, giving a shout out to my man Drew, Detroit Drew. Make sure you tune in on his YouTube channel, Detroit Drew. Bad boy.
Peeps, how's everyone doing this home day? Hopefully you guys are having a good day. And in case you guys missed it last night, I know Pistons Talk made a video on it. Go check that out for sure. But the Pistons are signing Tyler Cook for the remainder of the season. And then there is an option for next season. So where is his future with this team? First, let me talk about what I've liked about him so far. Is he's not anything special, but he has raw potential. He is still really young. I was a little skeptical when they paired him up with Beef Stew off the bench, playing them both at the same time. I thought I was going to have Andre Drummond and Greg Monroe flashbacks, but it hasn't been the case because of how well Beef Stew has been able to shoot the ball. Not just mid-range, but three-pointers. You know, I've talked about this, that Stew has progressed through this season. When he first came in, all he was getting were layups and dunks. And now he's more comfortable. It's something that he's already had in his arsenal, but confidence is key when shooting. I have tried to tell you guys this on many occasions. And Stu's not just forcing up threes because he's open. He's in rhythm, and they look good. Even his misses look good. There's only been one three-pointer I've seen Stu shoot that he shouldn't have shot and was not pretty. It's because he wasn't in rhythm. But he's not just chucking them up. But Cook, man, he comes in and he can run in transition. I was there at the game against the Brooklyn Nets. Screwed Blake Griffin. Let's throw that out there. Josh Jackson got a steal, was running with it, and Cook beat him down the floor for an alley-oop, and the place was popping. Especially the game against OKC. Obviously, no Plumlee, so he got way more minutes than what he was used to. But he had a huge impact on the game and played really well. I don't think he's going to be anything spectacular. Obviously, he has a lot of work to his game. But I'm looking at this, you know, we're going to bring back Plumlee. We might trade him in the offseason, depending on if we draft Mobley or not. That's probably the biggest key is draft, which is always the case with what you do in free agency, what you do with trades in the offseason, is where you're picking and who you want. So that is key number one, determine if we even bring him back next year. But if we do, they have already paired him with Beef Stew. They got some chemistry. I don't hate it. Obviously, I do like it when we have more shooting out there, like better shooting than Beef Stew. But, you know, beggars can't be choosers. I don't mind it. I actually kind of like it. You know, it's worked out pretty well. I do think the Pistons will bring him back because next year we will have our G League team. We will opt into that one. And if he's just not developing that at the right pace, send him down there. Let him get some time down there. You know, he's played in the G League already. I believe he played it with the Denver, whatever Denver's team is. I don't know their G League team off the top of my head. But he's played in the G League. And this year, having, I don't know, half a season in the NBA experience is pretty big. You know, he's got his minutes. He's earned his minutes. He's part of the rotation now. And I like that when we can sign guys off of 10-day contracts. And we're so impressed with him after the first one. We give him another one. And after that, we're like, hey, let's have him for the rest of the year. He's a hustle guy, you know, defensively hustles, boards, hustles. And I like having athleticism at the 5 spot because there are alley-oop threats, which means in the pick and roll, you can't just double up on the point guard. Because if you do, with a guy like Killian, you're going to get an alley-oop. Saban Lee, he's going to throw an alley-oop. Dennis Smith Jr., he's going to throw an alley-oop. I like what we got with him. I really like him and Beef Stew. Plumlee, he's okay. He's all right. I got a little bit mad at Plumlee last night for trying to hurt Sadiq, but, you know, whatever. Plumlee doesn't really have a future with this team in terms of being here for a long haul. If we don't trade him in the offseason, trade deadline next year, definitely look forward to hearing his name come up in trades. But that's too far down the road, you know. And again, if we draft Mobley, we might not want to bring back Cook. We might want to keep Plumlee. I don't know. It's kind of, like I said, the draft is really big with how we're going to approach this team, who we keep and who we trade, because we got so many young guys on this roster right now. We're a top 5 youngest team in the league. And I think we're like top 3 or something. Like, we're up there. I know Sekou is like the 18th youngest player, and Beef Stew and Killian are top 10. We got a lot of young pieces here. The more we can keep adding guys or trading for guys like Cook, adding guys like Dennis Smith Jr., Diallo, the better. This is completely the opposite of what the Pistons have done for the last 10 years or so, where we've traded for veterans, former all-stars that are out of their prime, and trying to make it work. Troy Weaver has a vision, he has a plan, and he understands you have to get young guys because they have potential. You're not going to hit on all of them. It's impossible to hit on all of them. But the more and more you add, the more and more likely you have one of these guys making a name for themselves, for popping off and being one of your franchise players. And we've already seen that with Sadiq and Beef Stew. Those guys are part of the court. And Saban Lee has had a phenomenal season. Those 3 guys there are going to be here for a very long time. And I think Killian will be here too. They're just all different. So I'm pulling for Cook, man. Hopefully he can make a good name for himself and keep it going. I definitely like watching him play. But let me know what you guys think the Pistons will do with him following the offseason. He's still got a month and a half or so to establish himself and to prove the Pistons that they need to bring him back next year. And there's going to be a lot more games where, Jeremy Grant and Plumlee might sit since we're not playing for anything. So a lot more of these young guys will have opportunities down the stretch here. This West Coast trip is not easy. I know we play, I believe we play the Kings Thursday. It's a late game. I probably won't even get to watch it. But West Coast trips are always tough. So I don't know. Once we come back home, that's when things just start rolling again. But leave your thoughts down below in the comments. Instagram, Twitter, DS members in the description. Check it all out. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. And that's the bottom line, because Double D said so. Peace.